There's a lot on the line this Saturday at Money in the Bank, but only one person will be walking out with that Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm here to tell you who it is and why. Let's talk about it. So let's just start the discussion here. Is this the biggest match of LA Knight's career? LA Knight's a guy who came into the WWE in 2021. He was with NXT for a while. Really started to gain his popularity about 2 years ago with the Bray Wyatt storyline. That's when you really started to see his ascension. And since then, fans have been really dying for this moment. And to me, this is the biggest match of LA Knight's career. This is a huge opportunity. If you look at the landscape of this match and of the field, this is such a big opportunity for LA Knight. This is a guy who Triple H once said, everybody just be patient. Everything's going to be fine when people were freaking out. A couple years ago, they teased him winning and then Damian Priest threw him off and grabbed the briefcase. They're obviously aware of LA Knight's popularity, and he's done a great job of continuing to be over with the crowd. Any storyline he's been involved in has gotten over. He's still getting one of the biggest reactions of the night. And I think it's time that maybe he gets rewarded. And so going into this match, to me, he lost the United States Championship at WrestleMania to Jacob Fatu, a very formidable opponent. No one was upset about that. And I said after WrestleMania, not on this channel because I just started talking here, but I did say that I thought that him losing that title and also Braun Breaker losing the Intercontinental title was a way to catapult both of them into kind of that next level, right? We've already seen that with Braun Breaker already immediately with him joining the Seth Rollins faction. And I think it's now LA Knight's time to join that next level. He deserves it, in my opinion. He's done a great job of staying over. Obviously, his mic work speaks for himself. I think he is pretty underrated in the ring, honestly. Not a 5-star guy by any means, not AJ Styles, not anybody like that, not a technician, but he's very smooth in the ring, doesn't really mess up on a lot of things, and he's a guy who's had a microscope on him at times, and if he doesn't win this match, my question would then be, if it's not going to be now, when is it going to be? And my answer to my own question would be never. If LA Knight doesn't win Money in the Bank, I think it kind of shows what WWE thinks of him, which is not as a main eventer, as kind of that next level down, upper mid-carder, where you've kind of seen guys like Drew McIntyre be at, Damian Priest, but even those guys were world champions. Drew McIntyre's fought for the world title multiple times. He technically won it at WrestleMania 40. We've seen LA Knight kind of in the ring with the big names, right? He's been in the ring tagging with John Cena. He was in a fatal 4-way with Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. He fought Roman Reigns as well for the title. So they've put him in big spots, and he's delivered time and time again. If it's not going to be now, I don't know when it's going to be for LA Knight. And that's why I think this is the biggest match of his career, because if he doesn't win this match, if they don't pull the trigger now on an LA Knight Money in the Bank run, I just don't know if he's ever going to be a world champion or be in that world title picture consistently. And the loss at WrestleMania kind of showed me that they're ready to put him there, and this would be the moment to kind of do that. Now you can forecast who he might cash in on, and I'm going to do separate videos on all of that. And I think that plays a factor when you're trying to predict who's going to win this match. But just looking at this from LA Knight's career, everything that's led to this moment, starting again really in 2021, 2023 is really when he started to take off. And over the past 2 years, he's just consistently gotten over. He's getting huge pops still. He's still one of the biggest draws on SmackDown every single Friday night. In my opinion, this is a huge match for LA Knight, not only for him, his career, the trajectory of his career, what WWE thinks of him, and if he doesn't walk out of this match Money in the Bank winner and eventual world champion, I just don't know if it's ever going to happen for him. So this is LA Knight's time, in my opinion, but there's other players in this match, big time players who are also going to have opportunities and good cases to win. So I'm not officially dropping LA Knight as my prediction just yet. You're going to have to stay to the end of the video for my official prediction on who's going to win this match. But if it's not now, then when will it be for LA Knight? So let's talk about some of the other guys in this match, because this is an interesting Money in the Bank in my opinion. So El Grande Americano, Penta, Solo Sikoa, Seth Rollins, and Andrade are your other contestants. And it's an interesting field in the sense that, to me, there's only a case that really two people can win this match. Now, I can make the case for just about anybody in this match because these are all really great superstars, but this isn't like the women's Money in the Bank, which I'm going to do a separate video on talking about, where I can make the case for 3, maybe 4 different people winning. I just don't see a world in which either LA Knight or Seth Rollins doesn't walk out of this match as Mr. Money in the Bank and an eventual world champion. The storyline for Seth Rollins make perfect sense, and I'll kind of talk about him now because to me he's the other big time player in this match. So Seth Rollins' story, obviously he's a Paul Heyman guy, he's creating this faction, and again, forecasting the Money in the Bank cash-in is important because it makes sense of if they're going to win, who and when can you see them cashing in on. If they want to do a quick cash-in this year, then it makes sense for Seth Rollins to win this match, win Money in the Bank on Saturday. You have the Jey Uso and Gunther title match, and for Seth Rollins to cash in during that match or after that match on Jey or Gunther, whatever, and become new World Heavyweight Champion. That could then set up potentially a title match at SummerSlam between, could be Jey, could be Roman, could be CM Punk. There's a lot of different guys who could be fighting Seth for that title at SummerSlam. It's just a matter of, do they want to put that title on Seth Rollins right now? This is still a new faction that's still, getting over. I mean, all these guys are pretty over because there's big names in that faction, but they're still getting over as a team, relatively speaking. I don't know if it's time yet for Seth Rollins to be world champion. I also don't know if it's time for Jey Uso to lose that belt already. I'm not suspecting a long title run for Jey, but it would basically be like less than 2 months he'd be champion. I don't know if they're willing to part the belt off of Jey already, but if they want to get Seth Rollins even more heat, having him beat and cheat to win against one of the biggest baby faces in the company, or just maybe not cheat to win, but simply cashing in on him, is a good way for him to continue to get heat and get some nuclear heat, really, because Jey is super over. So, man, it's tough because, again, I really only see LA Knight or Seth Rollins winning this match, and you can easily make a case for Seth Rollins to be the winner in this. I think Andrade is the dark horse in this match. If I'm picking a dark horse in this match, it's Andrade. Andrade's a guy who, to me, he's a star waiting to happen. He was a star in NXT. He put on some banger matches, and he's got the look. He's got the gimmick. Could maybe use Zelina Vega back. We wouldn't complain about that, or at least I wouldn't. And he's amazing in the ring. Triple H is now booking him since he's returned to WWE, and the booking's been a little underwhelming, honestly. Let's just be honest. It hasn't been great. It's just been go on SmackDown and put on banger matches. But sometimes that's what you have to do for a little bit, and then eventually you move up and you win something like this, and all of a sudden you're world champion. A lot of times they use the Money in the Bank to catapult somebody into that next level, right? And if it's not going to be the top 2 guys, which again I think are LA Knight and Seth Rollins, Andrade to me is the dark horse in this match because he, of all these other 4 competitors, to me is a world champion. When I look at these 4, no disrespect to the other 3, when I look at these 4, which is Andrade, El Grande Americano, Solo Sikoa, and Penta, to me, Andrade screams world champion more than those other 3. So Andrade is my dark horse pick for this match if I had to pick one. Of all the people in this match, I do think that Andrade and Penta are going to really look great coming out of this match, even if they don't win, because I think they're going to do some pretty awesome stuff, to be honest. And I think all of them will, honestly. I think Solo will come out of the match looking fine. El Grande Americano, I think he's going to come out of the day looking awesome because he's going to be working Well, is he the same as Chad Gable? I don't know. Let's just assume he is, right? He's going to be working the Worlds Collide show during the day and then this match at night. So I think he's going to come out of the day just looking awesome. Clearly, they've seen how good he is, and he's getting pushed a little bit more, which is great. He's great. He's great in the ring. Gets pretty much anything they ask him to do over with the crowd, and he's amazing. But I really do think that Andrade and Penta are going to come out of this match looking really, really good, particularly Andrade. It's time for Andrade to put on a A-plus performance in a match like this where he's in the ring with other main eventers, and hopefully it means he gets catapulted up to something, because he definitely deserves it. I think I'm going to officially predict that LA Knight wins the Money in the Bank. He finally gets the big break that he's been waiting for the better half of 2 years at this point, and they finally put him in the main event picture. Drew McIntyre won it last year, cashed in the same night. I think it's going to be a long Money in the Bank, briefcase hold, whatever the wording would be for that for LA Knight. I think it's going to be a while before he cashes in particularly because I do believe that Money in the Bank is pushed back next year, right? I don't think it's going to be in June. It's going to be later in the summer, if I'm not mistaken. So I could see them wanting that briefcase to hang around a little bit before the cash-in. Also think that LA Knight is going to be a successful cash-in when he does. So I don't think that he's going to cash in on John Cena or a Jey Uso or even a Seth Rollins. It could be a little bit of time. And it could be a situation where he wins the Money in the Bank. He's on SmackDown, gets drafted or moves over to Raw, and then cashes in on the Raw champion. Again, we'll have time to discuss that. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think is going to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Keep an eye out this week. We're also going to be predicting the women's Money in the Bank ladder match as well as the whole card, so you will not want to miss those videos. Money in the Bank is a very exciting time. It's always interesting to see who they want to put that on and kind of strap them up as potential future world champions. I love Money in the Bank. Really excited for it this year. I think we have a pretty good 2 ladder matches to kind of dissect. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this analysis. And again, let me know in the comment section down below who your official prediction is. Let it be known to the world. Who do you think is going to win this match? Yeah,